Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Welcome. This is Dr. G, and we are back for another episode. This is a very special episode because we're doing something very different with the podcast. So we had so many breakthroughs this past week. We had the amazing Dr. Appiah Rao on the show talking about gut health and all of the awesome things that she's up to. And then I was connected with another phenomenal doctor, Dr. Appiah, and she's a fellow in nephrology at Stanford. And, it just occurred to me that maybe we should try to do something different with the show. And so we decided that we're going to do it live. And so the show aired live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And it did so on August 6th at 11 a.m. Eastern. And so it was an opportunity to do the show live such that you could essentially you could essentially type in your comments and, show your appreciation during the show, ask questions during the show. And it was cool. It was so cool. And maybe this is something that we'll do again in the future so that it will give an opportunity for you to participate in the process of and also be a part of the show. So very excited about that. So that's coming up here in a bit. So if you would like to watch the video of this, definitely head over to my YouTube channel, which is Charmaine Gregory MD, and check it out. Or you can watch it on the Facebook page, Fearless Freedom with Dr. G Facebook page. So there you go. There's an opportunity to see us, see what we look like, see our facial expressions, the whole 9 yards, in true and in living color. So that's that. So a couple of exciting things. So that 13,000 download marker, whoop, whoop, we did it. Oh yeah, I knew we could. And thank you again for all of your assistance in making that magic happen. The next thing is the podcasting launch course. I have been getting lots and lots of interest for this, and I am super excited about that. And we have a waiting list that is growing for the next iteration, which was essentially set to be August. Now, in thinking about the processes involved, I am kind of on a borderline as to whether or not I'm going to do mid or late August, because I had the privilege of being one of the instructors in the SoMe Docs podcasting masterclass. And this was an opportunity to work along with Dr. Neil Darko, who is the one who essentially got me started podcasting. I took his course 2 years ago, and that was all she wrote. I just fell in love with podcasting and off to the races. And there are going to be, so he's one of the instructors, and then there's Dr. Taylor Branner, there is Dr. Aaron Wiseman, so there, Dr. David Draganis, Dr. Tarang Patel, so a all-star cast of instructors. And so this is a course that is for physicians who are looking to start their podcast, looking to get the word out. And so very honored to be a part of that. It's happening currently, it's going to be happening here starting on August 10th, and it's going to be a 6-week course. So I'm doing that, and I love my course because my course is very focused, it's very intimate, and so I was thinking that since I'm doing that, I would push back my course start just a little bit, probably towards the end of August, so that I could give my full attention to you as you go through your journey to get your show started. And my course obviously is not exclusive to doctors. It is open to professionals who are interested in starting their podcast. So if you want that intimate experience with me, definitely sign up for my course, and I'm looking forward to being a part of your journey. And I am so excited for all of those who have already signed up because it is going to be phenomenal and we are going to have a rocking time. Speaking of which, graduates of the course so far have been rocking it. Now, I heard recently that Dr. Mila was able to crush the 500 download marker, and she is doing so with her podcast, Pivot and Bloom, and it is just phenomenal. Every episode has been pure fire. And on top of that, so she has been having great success, and another student that was in the class, was in the course, who's also crushing it, is Patty Perez. And Patty Perez has the Drama-Free Workplace with Patty Perez. So you have got to go and subscribe to, leave a 5-star rating, leave a positive comment, share both of these podcasts so they can continue to rock it. I truly, truly, truly appreciate all of your support. Thank you for liking this show. Thank you for listening to it week after week, and thank you for getting the word out there about it, because the more people that are able to hear how other superstars just like themselves are facing fear and emerging victoriously, the more we will emerge victoriously and have a phenomenal world. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and let's take a listen to the live episode. First episode that is live on Facebook and YouTube with a guest. Take it away. Is he on the screen there? Hello, hello, hello. We're making history, just so you know, because today is the first time that we are going to be having a live recording of the podcast here on Facebook. Whoop, whoop. And on YouTube, whoop, whoop. And guess what, Fearless Freedom Tribe? We have a very amazing, very fearless young physician here with us today. And we are going to be chatting with Dr. Ivie O. I'm hopefully not going to mispronounce her second name. Okundaye.
Yes.
Appiah.
There you go.
I'm so proud. I was worried. I was practicing. I was really, really practicing because I wasn't sure what would happen there. So thank you for bearing with me. And I appreciate the fact that I did not butcher your name completely. Awesome. So now, yes, so super excited. We're excited to be here. We're excited that you guys are joining. Because guess what? This is an opportunity for you to be a part of the episode. You get to be here with us. You get to ask questions. You get to interact, make comments. So let's do this. All right. So tell us all about yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, Dr. G. I'm so excited. Again, my name is Dr. Ivie O. Okundaye Appiah. And you know what? I'm a freedom fighter for the Dr. G, podcast. So I'm so excited. But a little bit about me. I'm a physician, really interested in women's health, uplifting families, and, really interested in kidney disease as well. So I am a nephrology fellow, postdoctoral fellow at Stanford University, and just super excited to explore more aspects of my research. So let's do it.
Awesome. Lots of great things. And so, with this drive that you have, with this passion that you have for women's health, what are some of the things that you're doing there?
Well, I am doing research. So right now I'm doing a chart review. We're building it from the ground up, right? And really what I want to assess is how good are we at Stanford about documenting our discussions about reproductive health issues in kidney disease patients.
Awesome.
And so I'm doing a manual chart review right now and completing the data analysis. We are in the final phases of our manuscript development, so stay tuned.
Sweet. And where can if someone is interested in what you do, if they're interested in getting in contact with you, How do they do that?
You can email me and I can, have my information available to you all. But my email address is Okundaye, O-K as in Kevin, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, A-Y-E, at stanford.edu. And then you can also follow me on my social media platforms. I'll provide that as well, Dr. Ivie O, at both Twitter and Instagram. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. And I also have a YouTube channel, so you can reach out to me there as well.
Awesome. And then, so, you have to tell us a little bit about your journey because, you're in a really amazing place. You're at Stanford. Yeah. You are, you have done quite a bit of training and you're at a great place in your career. Tell us all about that. Like, how did you get there?
Wow, it's been quite a journey for sure. I am from Wisconsin, so I'm really actually a Midwest girl. I was born in Chicago. I grew up in rural Wisconsin, outside of Green Bay area. It's a small town called Neenah, Neenah, right on the Fox River Valley. And you know what? I was just so interested in medicine from the very beginning. And, I have supportive parents and family that's encouraged me. I eventually went to college in North Carolina, med school at University of Wisconsin, my home state. Go Badgers. And then
come on now.
I did my residency in Chicago as well. And but I had to come to Stanford. And I'm so blessed that that opportunity worked out for me.
Awesome. And so were there any bumps along the road? Were there any moments when you were facing fear, for example, and you had to overcome those?
Absolutely. Probably one of the most difficult times of my life was actually getting through medical school, getting into medical school and then getting out of medical school. Very challenging. I will say that some professors have been really supportive, but there are times where I might feel, boy, am I good enough? Can I really do this? I remember specifically one time that there was, a professor or an attending, which is a supervising physician, who basically said, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you have the knowledge. I just, basically told me to my face, like, no, I don't believe in you. And
wow.
Really hard to hear. Yeah. That's
pretty powerful. That's someone you're looking up to, saying that to you. That's very powerful.
Yeah. And there have been numerous examples. I mean, it's so hard. But I had to just keep on going and really not put so much of my validation externally and more so internally. Just because this person doesn't believe doesn't mean that my fate is sealed. Right. I just have to work really, really hard and stay focused. And I will say I had a lot of support from my parents, so much support from my parents. I live 2 hours away from home, and literally I would go home so often. My classmates are, partying after a test, and I'm driving home to just rejuvenate myself and just come back to me. Does this thing make sense?
Because absolutely.
It's a place to make me feel, more comfortable and more like myself. And I got a lot of encouragement, but that was really challenging. When people say, I just don't believe in you to your face.
Wow. Yeah, that has to trigger some intense fear, right? Because now you're, you belong there. You know that this is the thing that you're going to be working hard towards. You know that you're going to make it, but you still look for that external validation. Like you still look for the people who are mentoring you, the people who are teaching you to encourage you, to uplift you, to help you to be better than you were yesterday. And so when you have that put on you, it's like, whoa, you may have a fear like, man, can I really do it? Like, is this really what I need to be doing? But it's good that you have a source, like you have a rock, like your family is your
Yeah.
rock. And you are able to reach back. Like you said, you're like, you know what, you guys can party, but I'm going home to get a recharge. I'm going home so that my people can love on me and let me know that I can do it. And so that is amazing.
Oh
It's
my.
absolutely amazing. Yeah. So, it's like, you have a fear. Yes. And you may have some stumbling blocks that might be out there trying to thwart your progress into your greatness. But you said, no, I'm not letting that happen. I'm going to reach back and I'm going to tap into my recharge source, which is your family. And so, no, that was fantastic. That's a great, great, great pearl. Great pearl.
Thank you.
Cool. And then, so tell us a little bit about, the things that you're doing. Like what kind of things you like to do? Like, what are the fun things that you like to do?
Oh, you know what? I actually, guilty pleasure. I love to watch reality TV.
Oh, which one? Which show? Now you gotta tell us. Now you tell us which show, because there's so many out there these days. So many.
I know. There's so many. I'm obsessed right now with The Real Housewives.
Ah, got it.
I'm a fan of pretty much almost anything on Bravo, but Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac just came out. So that's really my guilty pleasure. Because with medicine, it's so serious.
Yes.
But you sometimes I feel like I need an outlet just to let my hair loose and just decompress. And I just love the drama on TV. So, but yeah, outside of that, I love to, be out at the park, be in nature. With the whole coronavirus situation, I've actually been running outside a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, so literally there are days where I just run 5 miles, just have my, my earpods, excuse me, and just run 5 miles, enjoy myself for an hour. Yeah, just having fun, shopping.
Awesome. Yeah, so no, that's good. I mean, having those kinds of things where you get out and move, huge. That is huge. Awesome. And then, so how would you, so I put a banner on for those who are watching live, because I know this is going to also be audio. And so you may or may not be seeing what's on the screen. So there is a banner that was on the screen just now that basically said, what is your guilty pleasure? Because, Dr. Appiah says that hers is watching reality television, and she likes Real Housewives because it's an escape from reality. Yeah. I know it's called reality television, but then you're like, wait, escape from reality. But yes, it is, because guess what? It's all contrived. Oh, wait, you didn't know that? If you didn't know that, I'm so sorry I just bursted for you. But it's all contrived. It's all scripted. And it is basically the most conflicted people are placed together in order to make the ratings higher. Because what? People love drama. People love conflict. That's just what we like to watch as humans. So there you have it. So reality TV is contrived, scripted, quote unquote, reality. So a great escape from reality, because you can watch that and you can get a good laugh and you could be like, oh my goodness, this is so not like my life or like anybody else's life I know, but it's kind of interesting.
But Dr. G, can I tell you something? I also love to watch some of the after shows or analyses of these reality shows. I'm obsessed because honestly, you're right, because a lot of these situations are made up or, are contrived.
Yes.
But sometimes it's a good way just to learn from other people's experiences,
Indeed.
Like, for example, I remember my parents pulled me into their bedroom one day because they were watching this reality show, and I forget the name of it. But basically, it was a TV show about realtors and like business people working together.
Okay.
And one of the ladies basically was a new person, and she was essentially getting hazed by the others who were all men. And I remember my parents said, come, look, watch what's going on. This is how it can be as a woman in the workplace.
Wow.
And so it was a different kind of reality show, but just to understand that sometimes there are different cultures and you just have to be aware of sometimes the challenges that may arise. So shout out to
that's huge. because that right there is something I never thought about, that you can literally have life lessons from reality shows. And so that is a perfect example of that, because it's like, that's real. That's something that transcends all, basically all walks of life, transcends all of our career paths, whether you're in medicine or you're in architecture, or you're in business, like no matter where you are, if you're female, you have the possibility of that occurring. And so that is a phenomenal life lesson that your parents share with you, and utilizing that show for the purpose. I mean, brilliant. They're brilliant. Absolutely.
I even have a second example that just came to mind really quickly. My mom and I, sorry, Mom, but we were watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians when Kim Kardashian was married to her second husband, Chris Humphries. And they were already married, and they were having a conversation outside about where to raise their kids for the first time. And my mom said, come, look at what's happening. You talk about these things before the marriage.
Yes, you do.
You plan what your priorities are for family building and the life that you want before the marriage.
Indeed.
So again, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So there are a couple of things that you talk about beforehand. So number one is money, right? So what's the status? Like, what's your credit status? Like, what is the status?
Yeah.
What's your credit status? Yeah. How much debt do you have? What are we getting into here? Because I know I'm bringing debt to the table. Yes. So how much debt are you bringing to the table, right? Yeah. So there's that. And then, is it going to be one bank account, two bank accounts? How are the bills going to be covered? Yes. All of this stuff should be spoken about before the marriage. And so here's a really cool thing. So a couple episodes ago, we had a discussion about this very same thing. And the situation was where the female was making more money than the male.
I listened to that podcast.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah. And so, it's just a matter of like having those discussions beforehand. So you just don't know. I mean, if there is a possibility that one of you might be way ahead than the other, you need to discuss it. You really do, because there's so many factors that come into play, and you just don't want to be caught unawares and have that be the reason why you have to part, right? Because people always break up over what? Money and what else? I mean, money.
Yeah. Money, yeah.
Money and money and money and money. So yes, money, number one. Number two, definitely, how are we going to raise the children? Like, what are we doing? Are we doing like that, they do whatever they want kind of situation, and we just let them guide themselves? Bad idea. But hey, some people do that. Yeah. Some people do that, and maybe it works for them. I don't know. For me and mine, that sure doesn't work. They need guidance. They need guidance. They need help. I know I needed it, so why would they not? And so, having that established, even simple things like you said, where are you going to raise them? Are you going to raise them in the United States? Are you going to go back to your country where you were from or where he's from? Or are you going to go to a completely different place? Are you going to do world travels? Are you going to raise them in different countries all over the world so they could be world citizens? Right. These are all the things that you should be establishing before you make it permanent. Man,
and it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because also I'm the child of immigrants. So yes, I see the world in a very unique. I have a unique worldview, especially with everything that's going on. But both of my parents are from Nigeria, and they've instilled in me so much that I want to be able to contribute as much as I can. And I feel like that's influenced how I see the world and, hopefully my family one day. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned citizenship.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And I think, I'm probably going to be butchering this awesome person's name, but I'm going to try. So I apologize ahead of time. So thank you for liking the show so far. Kiruka Iyisi Ora Giaca.
Oh,
I might have messed that up. My apologies.
I
But
wouldn't.
thank you for tuning in and thank you for liking the show so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, so it's real. I mean, I can totally identify with what you're saying. I actually am an immigrant, so I have the first, the first generation kind of, well, is that a first generation? Or is that just your life? That's just your life. Okay, that's just my life. So I was born in Jamaica, lived there for 10 years, been here for 35 years. So essentially America is now my home, right? Because I've lived here more years than I've lived there. But I still identify with my Jamaican culture because that is my native land, right? And so, it's interesting because now, so your parents, I'm thinking probably lived there into their adulthoods or maybe till they were teenagers or something. And so they came older to the States, and so they're obviously trying their best to relay the cultural items to you and your siblings if you have them, and just really make sure that you have that passed on to you, which is important, right? And so I try that with mine. And so the way that we pass it down in our house is guess how?
How?
The food.
Okay, good. I was going to ask you. Yes.
It's all about the food. It is all about the food. Oh my gosh.
Recipes?
Oh, I could definitely send you some. Definitely. I mean, the food is so much a part of how culture is relayed from generation to generation.
Yes.
And it is so funny because you may not keep the language. Like a lot of people are able to keep language, which is phenomenal, and how do they do that? They just basically say, well, it depends. Now, if the parents are already fluent in English, what they'll say is we're only going to speak our language at home so that children can actually learn it. If the parents are not fluent in English and they're trying to learn English, the language gets lost faster because they're going to want the children to speak to them in English so that their English can get better, so that they can participate in a society, in a more fluid way. And so, so language, kind of here and there as far as whether that gets preserved, but check it. The food always, the food lives on. The food doesn't die.
It has
the food doesn't die. So that's pretty cool.
Food.
That is pretty cool. The food definitely does not die.
Dr. G, I can totally relate to that. I think in our household, the way we transmit culture is actually through celebration.
Oh, awesome.
So growing up, I loved to go to weddings, parties, birthday party, anything where you get a bunch of like West Africans together.
Oh, nice. I can just imagine the music and the outfits.
Yeah. And the outfits. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I had 6 outfit changes for my wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. We can talk more about that later. But yeah, I can totally relate to your situation too.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I by far did not have as many. I only had the wedding dress and then the one I had on for the reception. That was basically it. But no, I mean, I feel like West African weddings and Indian weddings, absolutely fantastic when it comes to, the different outfits and the colors. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, you got pictures back there?
Yeah, here are a couple changes.
Oh, nice. Is that you in orange?
Oh, here? Yeah,
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
Me, my husband, so handsome. But yeah, actually, this dress my mother wore at her wedding 30 years ago.
Wow.
We kept it. It just has this, vibrancy. And then these oral beads are, coral orange beads. They're called Ivie O.
Okay. Which is your name.
So
Yes.
Course, I had to be dripped.
Yes, of course. You have to have that all over you. Absolutely. Your namesake. Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. And then, so tell us a little bit about that then. So was there any fear involved with the marriage itself, with, stepping into that new phase of life? Because I'm assuming that when you got married, you were either in training already or med school. I'm not sure where along the road, but there had to be some fear involved there.
You know what? That's such a good question. Actually, there was some fear. because this was completely new and I didn't know this person very well, but I stepped out on faith. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So I met my husband. His name is James. I met him in January of 2018, and we were engaged by June of that same year.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the end of my residency in Chicago. And he's actually a resident in New Jersey. He's doing oral and maxillofacial surgery residency. Okay, and then so we got engaged, and then within a week, he moved to New Jersey, and then I moved to California.
Wow.
To fellowship. Okay, so very challenging, but so there was some fear involved, like I've gotten to know this person a little bit more, but how can we do a long distance engagement and long distance marriage? What are we going to do?
Right.
So there was some, hesitation to some extent. However, when I met my husband, I remember feeling calm and I felt at peace. And I didn't know why, but I just felt, because I'm like to be, vibrant and happy and, go lucky and, really excited. But I just felt like calm and at peace. And I had a sense of like rejuvenation when I was around him. It was like I've never had that feeling before.
Wow.
And so my spirit told me, move in this direction. Work with him and work with this. And with close communication, we decided that each other is a priority. We want to be in each other's lives. And so our love and our goals are bigger than the distance, than the time zone difference. And we made it work. So, and I also have to say, his parents were encouraging, my parents were encouraging, and, we make the best of it. So we are married now almost a year and are long distance. So it's non-traditional for sure.
Yes. Can you tell I like making up these little things?
I love that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So for those who are listening to the audio, basically what I wrote on the screen is long distance trumped by love. I mean, obviously their love was deep enough and strong enough that they are making it through the distance and making it happen, finding ways. And so that's inspiration because, there's definitely, there are definitely challenges to having a long distance relationship, but people have had successful long distance relationships for eons. So, it's not impossible. Challenges don't mean that you can't do it. And challenges don't mean that you can't excel at it either. So it's a matter of your grit, your inner drive that will allow for you to have success in whatever it is. And so in this situation for James and Ivie, basically it is the love that's driving them. And so amazing. And so here's the other thing. Here's a little fun fact that the Fearless Freedom Tribe probably doesn't know about me. And so basically my husband and I, we met when I was in college in 1994. Okay. Ooh, long time ago. Probably the year that some of you were born. And so So basically we met then. He was working on his PhD. I was getting my undergraduate and I met him and, it was like, hey, hey, how's it going? But it wasn't a love connection per se. And so we stayed in contact because, I thought he was pretty cool and he was very smart, which I really like. I really like smart people, particularly men that are smart. My husband is extremely smart. And so, he keeps saying that I used him. I don't think I did though. Here's why he said this. I'll just let you know why he said this. He said this because I was taking organic chemistry. I was taking advanced organic chemistry, I think at the time, or I was taking regular organic. I don't know which one. I was taking some organic chemistry class. And he is an organic chemistry PhD candidate at the time, right? So he's doing this. So of course I'm like, okay. So I got my like practice test or whatever. And I'm go through it. Because for me, it's like all about going through as many problems as possible so that it can become ingrained in me, because it's not intuitive. I don't think like that. I don't think spatially. And so, I'm doing the things or whatever, and I'm calling him up and I'm like, hey, what kind of reaction is this again? Is this back attack? Is this E1, E2? I don't know. Can you help me? And so he helps me to like go through all the problems, which is in the homework. And I thought that was fair. I don't know. Does that sound fair? Anyway, so the next day the test came, and on the test, what was on the test but similar things to what he helped me with.
Perfect.
So according to him, I used them.
Oh my gosh. Well, he got to spend time with you. I'm sure he was excited.
And he said that he didn't get a vibe from me then that, we would be an item. And because I didn't really think of him like that. I kind of thought he was a cool guy.
He was hoping. He was like, oh, please.
I know, it's crazy. And then it's weird because here's how you know when someone is definitely meant for you. Okay. Because what happened was, so we kept in contact. I graduated. I went to med school. We kept in contact for a short while, and then we kind of lost contact. So I went through first year, second year medical school. I was getting ready to go to third year, decided that I was going to take a year off and go to the NIH and be part of the Howard Hughes Medical Scholars Program. Amazing. So I did that. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great program. Anybody ever gets a chance to do it, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. The clinical program is also fantastic. So I went there, and, so we're living on the campus, and NIH campus. And so one of the women that I ended up encountering, who was doing the clinical research program at the time, she was the wife of my husband's really good friend. And so, she was like, she went and told her husband, she was like, hey, guess what's up, social media, at the NIH. And he was like, oh, cool. So he tells my husband, and then my husband says, why don't you give her my number? So, she didn't give me his number. She didn't, she forgot.
Oh,
and we were there for a year. She just kept on forgetting. And so, okay, whatever. And so then we go on, and I do third year and fourth year, and I graduate, and I go and do residency at Duke. So here I am now. I am like doing my intern year, getting ready to do that. And literally the who's an intern also?
No,
my husband's friend's wife, right? Okay. So, and then she's like, hey, I'm like, hey. And then she says, you know what? I'm going to give Chris your number next time. And so basically that's what happened. And then finally we were able to unite, and, it was a love connection at that point. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, so many obstacles, right? Time was one, there were so many, basically there was a huge time gap between when we first met, we're hanging out, kind of lost touch. And then when, he first asked her to pass on a number, and then the second iteration of that pass on a number kind of situation, and then us ultimately getting together. And then, it wasn't as speedy engagement as you guys is, but it was 2 years. It was like 18 months or something like that. And then I literally graduated from residency, like the Friday. And then I was like on a plane, I think the Sunday. And then we were getting married like that next week.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny?
Yes, it was very like fast. A lot of life changes happening at the same time. But, I bring that up because it's like, you just never know, like whoever it is that's meant for you, it will be very clear. And so for you, you discuss like a feeling of calmness. You discuss like how he made you feel.
Yeah. And
you knew that was a feeling that you wanted for your lifetime. Like you knew that he was your match. And so, and then for me, I didn't know he was my match until a lot later on or whatever, but it has been amazing. And so I know that you guys will have an amazing life as well.
Oh, thank you.
And also I want to encourage you, the long distance thing, he and I were doing the long distance thing for those 2 years because he was in Michigan and I was in North Carolina. So,
oh, wow.
And I was in residency still. So, I mean, it was, so not as far as, Jersey and Cali, but still, there's a distance, there's lots of phone calls, lots of virtual dates, all of that stuff.
Right. Absolutely. So there's hope.
There's hope. There's hope. And we've been married for 15 years. So there's definitely
Wow.
hope. Yeah.
Wow. Good, Dr. G.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are times when he wants to kill me. Or not necessarily kill me, but that I get on his nerves. But I wouldn't change. I wouldn't have another life partner. I just feel like this is the person that was meant to be in my life, and I just wouldn't change it. So I think that's why I kind of joke around and I kind of say to him, like, there's only one way out of this marriage.
Yeah. I can take the hint. I got the hint.
He said, is that a threat? Is that a threat? Nope, not a threat. Not a threat. Not a threat. Not at all.
Wow.
Not at all. Not at all. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so you have to tell us what drew you to nephrology? Like, what made you choose that?
I am obsessed. Do you know what it is? I get to play a detective. It really is detective work if you really think about it, because, nephrologists are like the physician's physician. But what I liked about it is that you can incorporate history, exam, lab, and imaging findings in a sophisticated way to kind of put the clues together and figure out a problem. Like, why does this person have a kidney problem? And I just liked that it was really like putting together the cues and clues and trying to actually help the patient. And then plus there's a public health point of view, because of, obesity and diabetes is becoming increasingly common, and therefore kidney disease. So I like that there was, an epidemiologic basis for it. And then also, my area of interest is women's health. And what I study is really kind of pregnancy, contraception, fertility issues in women with chronic kidney disease. And so I also felt like there's a service part of it. But yeah, for anyone who's interested in nephrology, let me know. It's amazing. It's fun. Best decision.
Awesome. And then I'm just going to, I want you to say again where people can reach you on social. So I can flash that across the screen too.
Sure. DrIvieOA. So Dr. Ivie O.A. on both Twitter and Instagram.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And then also my YouTube channel, you can just search my first name and last name. So Ivie, last name Okundaye, Okundaye. Just search that on YouTube and I'll come right up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I have to tell you some things I've learned in this whole time and on my channel. Well, Dr. G, I was just reflecting on everything going on, and there was one phrase that resonated with me, which is, we're fighting a pandemic within a pandemic. And Barbara Lee came out with that. She represents California. And I've just learned so much. We're fighting, both the pandemic of coronavirus, but then also we're fighting racism. And I've just learned a lot, and, basically used my channel and my platform to help kind of deconstruct and give back about these issues, policy issues, and providing medical commentary. So if you're interested, check out my channel. You'll love it. We have a lot of fun topics on there. But.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you did some really good deep dives. So that would be great.
Yeah,
people to check that out. Absolutely. Awesome. Oh, man. This has been such a fun conversation. We're at that point in the show where we do our famous tradition, and that is the fill in the blanks. Are you ready? Are you ready to fill in the blanks? You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will.
If I am fearless, I will follow my destiny.
Awesome. If I'm fearless, I will follow my destiny. Love that. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
To me, fearless freedom means liberation.
Awesome. Awesome. Simple and to the point. Love it. And then the last one is my battle cry is.
Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Wow. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for being our test subject for the live, like absolutely live, like super live on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. And this is this week's episode. So those of you who joined, thank you, thank you, thank you. For all of you who watched it live, and thanks for joining, because guess what? You got to be a part of history, a part of the Fearless Freedom Dr. G podcast history, which is the very first time that we've done a live of the show with a guest. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes. Please, everyone, follow me on my social media platforms. I'd love to interact with you. If you have any questions about contraception, fertility, pregnancy, kidney disease, I'm the girl for you. And yeah, let's keep the conversation going. Dr. G, thank you so much for having me on your platform. And I hope you can come over to my platform too soon enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. I love it. I love it. Great. Great, great, great. All right. So take care, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.